Hey guys, my name is Anthony and in today's video I'm going to be talking over WOR Round 5 at Paul Ricard. So if you do want to see more League Racing highlight content from myself in the near future, then make sure to hit the like button if you do enjoy this video. So getting straight into this one, I definitely wanted to try and have another good race here because we've just not really had the best of luck in WOR this season. And as you can see, I wanted to try and get 2 runs out on the medium tyres. However, our teammate unintentionally blocked us, which means we didn't have enough time to do 2 runs, which means this had to be the final run that we did and only run that we managed to do. So coming up to turn 1, we take turn 1 and turn 2 quite nicely. I definitely think there's a little bit more time in there, but only a fraction of a second to be honest, considering we are on the medium tyres. We're going through turns 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Just wasn't really committed enough. I just wasn't taking enough curb, and going through turn 6, yeah, we ended up invalidating our lap because we just didn't take enough curb during the mid corner and it just drifted us out wide and we invalidated our lap, which means that we are starting last. And I was really annoyed by that because obviously our teammate ended up blocking us, but he didn't do it intentionally, so it was just one of those, you know, bad timing situations. But yeah, we're going to be starting from last and we're going to need to make our way through the pack in this race. So as you guys can see, we're going to be doing the alt strategy since we are in last place. We're going to be starting on the hard tyres and then going to the mediums towards the end. So as we've got 5 red lights and away we go. And I thought I was being very careful on the throttle there, but apparently we wasn't, because we got a lot of wheel spin and we ended up losing quite a lot of time to the cars ahead. But I actually saw this as a blessing in disguise because you guys know that turn 1 in league races can be very hectic, so I thought I could always use this opportunity to carry more speed going into turn 1 and make some overtakes happen. However, we only really overtook one person, which wasn't ideal in this situation considering I knew I had the pace to, even on the medium, start in the top 10 based on some of the times that I saw. I definitely thought that we could make up a few more positions on the first lap, and that's what I was trying to do. So yeah, at this point, as you can see, we go wide and get a warning. You know, you can easily go wide at lap 1 when you've got a lot of fuel in the car, and basically you're going flat out through some of these corners as well. It's so easy to. But yeah, at this point, I just wanted to try and make up as many positions as we possibly could on lap 1. I saw an opportunity here to get past Clays, so I decided to use some of my ERS to try and make the overtake happen because, as I said, I want to try and get up the field as quickly as we possibly can. So we make the move stick on Clays, and now we've got our eyes set on LGS, and I definitely knew in my own head that I was quicker on just in general compared to him based on what I was seeing. And coming up to sector 3, you can see there was a big mess. I don't know what happened. There's just a big pile up going on in sector 3, and we take full advantage of that. And now we're in P11 with only LGS in front of us on the hard compound of tires. So yeah, somehow due to just pure luck from everyone else messing up, we are now in second place out of all the hard tire runners. And at this point I thought, okay, I definitely need to get past LGS at some point and be the lead car on the alternate strategy, because that will pay dividends come towards the end of the race when we're actually on the quicker tyre, when we've got a lot less fuel in the car. So we're going to be a lot quicker than the guys who are on the normal strategy on the hard tyres. Obviously they would have been on the hard tyres for at least 15 laps by that point. So yeah, that's basically my goal for the next couple of laps, really just stick with LGS and then try and make the move stick. If we can make the move stick sooner rather than later, that means we can potentially stick with Heyman, and you know, that will benefit us a lot because he is on the soft compound of tire, and at this point the softs are still pretty good. Obviously they will wear out very quickly, especially around the track like France, since you're using a lot of curbs, since you're being quite aggressive and going through corners basically flat out. It does take a lot of toll out of your tires. And then coming up to lap 5 now, we still kept up with Heyman quite closely considering he was on the soft tyres. But as you can see, Liverpool Ewan is behind us on the medium tyres, and the medium tyres are probably going to be best around this particular part of the race. So I decided I definitely wanted to get past LGS at this point. We use all of our ERS to make the overtake happen, and the reason why I wanted to make the overtake happen here rather than anywhere else is so that there is a car separating us between me and Ewan. And at this point I thought, okay, if we can you know, at least break the DRS from LGS before Ewan gets past him, then that means that Ewan won't be in my DRS, and we could potentially get away from someone who's even on the medium tyres at this current stage of the race. Because as I said, once you get towards, say, lap 7, I want to say, that's when the mediums become the quickest tyre on the track. And Ewan, I believe at this point, was the only person who started on the medium compounder tyre, so he's definitely going to be a threat to basically our race come towards the end of it, because even though he will be on the hard compounder tyre, he still wouldn't have been on the hards as long as the guys on the soft, so he could potentially be a threat. But as you can see, he ended up getting past LGS quite comfortably, and there's pretty much nothing I can do at this point. So really and truly, I thought to myself, okay, if he's going to be right behind me come the next DRS zone, then I'm probably just going to let him pass. And it makes sense to let him pass in this situation because he's on the quicker compound of tyre. If I can use him to sort of drag me along, then I will be able to get outside of the DRS of the guys on the hard tyres, which would be very, very beneficial to me. So that's exactly what ends up happening. Ewan ends up using his ERS and combined with the DRS, I literally turned my fuel mix down to lean just to let him pass a bit easier so that none of us lose time, because if I had used Rich, we could have potentially lost time to the guys behind, which obviously you don't want. And we're already nearly outside of the DRS of the hard tyre runners behind as well, so at this point you might as well just let him pass smoothly and use his medium tyres in our favour. So that's something that a lot of you guys don't necessarily know how to do, and I definitely think it's something that you guys will gain through experience, and it's something that I've started gaining through experience as well, just being able to use somebody else's compound of tyre to your own advantage. And that's exactly what we did here. At lap 8 you can see we're still inside of the DRS of Ewan, and we've completely broken DRS of the hard tyre runners behind us, so we're definitely taking advantage of the situation that's been dealt with us. And Ewan actually makes a mistake going into that corner, and that corner is very tricky because the braking zone is tricky because you don't really have a rough estimate, you don't have an actual definitive place to start braking, you sort of just got to guess. And it's the same with the turn-in point because you have to turn in a lot later than you would think, and Ewan ended up making a big mistake there, which really, again, it helped us because we're still able to use Ewan's tyres to our own benefit. And obviously we're doing stuff like saving fuel, saving ERS as well, so that when the other people behind us maybe try and go for the undercut, we could then push and go for an overcut. So we're doing quite well currently. The tyre wear did surprise me, to be honest, in terms of the hard tyres. I thought the hard tyres would last a lot longer than they did, to be honest. At this point I believe they were already creeping towards the 35 to 40%, which really concerned me because I thought maybe I wouldn't last on the mediums if my hard tyres are already going, if they're already starting to show signs of heavy wear. But luckily we managed to continue just doing what we needed to do, and we kept the tyre wear to a bare minimum, which was obviously beneficial to us. And I wanted to sort of talk about how to overcut somebody, because a lot of people know that the undercut is a lot more powerful, but you still can overcut on this game if you know what you're doing. So as you guys can see, because we were behind Ewan for so long, we were able to save a lot of ERS, and even if we didn't, we were really careful of how to use our overtake, and that's because we wanted to have a lot of ERS for this situation. If you're able to spam your overtake on your in-lap, then you can definitely overcut people who have tried to undercut you. As you can see, we ended up getting a penalty, but at that point I wasn't really necessarily too concerned about that. I mainly was just focused on trying to get this overcut. Obviously I knew that the penalty will come back to bite us towards the end of the race, but at this moment of time I was more focused on getting an overcut on the people who had already pitted, like LGS for example. So yeah, you want to really use a lot of your ERS, save a lot of your ERS for your in-lap so that you can make this overcut work. A lot of the time people come out in traffic, or especially if they're going on to a different compound of tyre, it takes a while for the tyre, you know, like half a lap for that tyre to really heat up. So by you using your ERS, you can really push and gain sort of that time back that you would be losing to the person on the fresh compound of tyres. So we're in the pits now. And yeah, we're about to go on the medium compounds, and I believe we're going to start seeing some of the people pass us. Like, yeah, some of the soft tire runners like Caesar, Tom, Humperdinck, who were on the soft tires at the beginning and now on the hard tires, they're going to pass us, obviously. And then we've got someone like Ewan, who pitted a good couple of laps before on the medium tires, so he's going to pass us as well. But as you can see, we made the overcut work on LGS. Obviously, he was still quite a bit distance away from us when he pitted, but we made sure that he didn't gain a lot of time on us through that undercut, which meant that we were still in front of him on the medium tires, which was what we wanted. So moving on to lap 19 now, and I definitely don't think on the medium stint that I was really using my ERS correctly. I definitely think on the first stint, on the hard stint, we used our ERS correctly, but on this stint, we definitely could have used our ERS a little bit more. Because obviously, as you guys can see right now, there's a lot of traffic ahead of us, and a lot of that traffic is on the hard compound of tyre. As we actually go down the inside of Sam to make the move, obviously we're on the quicker tyre at this moment of time, and we will be on the quicker tyre until the end of the race. So I really need to use my tyre advantage and my ERS advantage at this point, and I just wasn't using enough ERS. And some of the guys ahead of us actually had really low ERS. You'll see maybe in some of the clips that the back of the car, the red light is flashing. That indicates that they have less than 10% ERS, so they basically don't have any, and I still wasn't using that to my advantage. So I definitely say, if you guys are in this situation where you're on the quicker tire, you're on the alternate strategy, and you're trying to get through the traffic, make sure to use your ERS a little bit better than how I'm using it. As you can see, Eek, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, it's EKE, I'm assuming it's something like that. He had no ERS, and I just couldn't get past him because I wasn't using my ERS, and that allowed Alex Daegu to get past us now. And as you can see, he doesn't have a penalty. If I was able to get through this traffic, I definitely feel that, you know, we could have broken the 3-second gap to Alex Daegu, because as I said, I did have quite a lot of pace, as I'm actually trying to go around the outside of Alex Daegu right now. So we are fighting quite hard for these positions, and at this point in the race I was starting to get frustrated because we were still in this traffic. I definitely thought that I should have been past a lot of these cars by now, and I was really starting to get frustrated. And you don't want to get frustrated in this situation because you're prone to make a lot more mistakes, as Alex Daegu does what I couldn't do and actually make the move stick on EKE, and he was being a lot more aggressive than I was, as you can see from the move that he made on me and the move that he made on the Renault ahead. And I just wasn't being aggressive enough with both my ERS and just my general aggression in terms of battling. So that's the main reason why I couldn't really get past the traffic. As you can see now, I'm actually trying to make the move on the Renault. Can we actually do it? We'll have to wait and see. He sticks it around the outside and then has the inside line, and then we have the inside line. But as you can see, he's still holding it around on the hard compounded tyres, so we're just not being aggressive enough, and we finally do make the move work. But it's already too late at this point. You can see that Alex is quite far ahead now, and you can also see that even the guys ahead of him, you know, they're just pulling away. And now I've got Clays, who's someone that we overtook at the beginning of the race. He's now overtaking us as well. And at this point I was just very frustrated as we got another penalty. I thought at the time that I could get that removed because you know, I just didn't really have the space at the time to really come back onto the track, because if I came back on the track when I got the penalty, I would have taken out Clays. However, we did end up getting another warning towards the end of the race. As you can see here, we're battling against our own teammate. I was really frustrated at this point, and I was just trying to make any moves possible, even if it was on my own teammate. But as you can see, coming up to this corner now, we just take too much of the curb and we get another warning. So at that point I thought there's no point in trying to dispute the warning that we got before, because even if I get that warning taken off, I've still got this warning that would have given me the 6 seconds of penalties anyway. So I just let Bourbon through and just try and keep 8th place, the position, as much as possible. I believe there was somebody ahead. I think it might have been Stubbsy, it might have been someone else who had 9 seconds, so I knew that I was going to gain the position on him, but because I had 6 seconds and everyone else had 3 seconds, I definitely was going to lose a few positions, which was very frustrating to me. I definitely feel, as you can see, Bourbon ended up losing the position slightly there because he ran out of fuel, but I definitely think that we could have had a lot better of a race than this. Yeah, sure, we came from last to 8th place in the end, but I still feel as if I had the pace to get an even better result. As you can see, Alex Daegu and even Ewan finished on the podium. So I definitely thought that a last to podium was potentially on the cards there, because I definitely had the pace. I just could not get past the traffic due to my own incompetence to use the ERS properly and just be aggressive on track. So yeah, that's going to be the end of the race. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave the like button, make sure to leave a like on the video, I should say. And if you're new to the channel and you still haven't subscribed yet, make sure that this is the video that you subscribe to the channel to see more content like this, to see more tutorials and a bunch of other F1 2020 content as we go towards the new game, F1 2021. And also let me know if you guys are excited for the new game. I'm certainly excited for it. I definitely want to see more about that breaking point stuff that involves, I forgot his name, but the guy that everyone hated in F1 2019 career mode. I forgot his name already. Devin Butler. That's it. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you're looking forward to the new game. I certainly am. And I'll catch you guys in my next video.